that job opening for Assistant Recreation Director is a job opening we have right now. It is not actually the fitness coordinator that we transferred Jessica Rieger to. That job opening is not actually open till May 12th, but in anticipation of having things ready.
And I understand that, and I wasn't aware of that violation then. Somebody brought this to my attention, and I looked it up, and they were correct. That's why I brought it up. That's all. I mean, yes, we did that in the past. We sure have, absolutely. But I didn't know. Somebody brought it to my attention. Now I have to say, hey.
It is in the purview of the department heads to assess their staff skill sets and place them where they fit best. And in anticipation of multiple changes that will be happening over the next several months in the City Hall offices, there are moves that need to be made, and we have been in contact with the people that it does affect. So it is not out of line to do interdepartmental transfers, and then that creates a job opening for the mayor's secretary / deputy clerk for a job opening that we will post tomorrow and start looking for the new position that will be open May 1st.
Also, she has written her letter according to 4-5.
Yeah, but
it's in
that's
your
not
packet.
that's not the part, like I said, I don't have a problem with any of that. It's just, it says it has to be a vacant. The city only accepts application for officially posted vacant positions.
And
when it
we
talks-
will accept applications starting tomorrow for the vacant position of mayor secretary / deputy clerk.
Well,
And they will not be hired till after the next council.
I'm just going by what the policy says, and that this is not the way the policy says to do it. And that, like I said, I have no problems with what's happening, but when it was pointed out to me, the person that pointed it out to me was correct. It's an error in procedure, and that's really all I want to say.
I want to say thank you, Darla, because anytime I have called as a citizen, as a chamber employee, it's kind of like Carrie, how many questions you've answered. You could probably be in the 3,000s as well, and you always know the answer. And if you don't, you always get back to me. And I appreciate it, and I'm glad that you're sticking around.
It has been past practice to post jobs we know that are coming up. Otherwise, we wouldn't have 4 job postings to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
You anticipate the need and plan ahead.
It's
You
proactive.
post it, and it's effective on the date of the vacancy.
Then the city doesn't skip a beat. Like,
It is our definition of continuity of service
Yes, sir.
To
Then
each-
I think
to
we should
each
look at
citizen.
reviewing and adjusting our policy and procedures if that's not what we're doing.
Mayor, may I say something?
Yes.
Darla, I want to say thank you for all you've done for us, for me. You've answered every question I've ever asked as a secretary. You've gotten me documents every time I ask. You said that you drop what you're doing sometimes to get it to you, and you know I say, don't wait till next time. But I thank you for what you do, and I am going to put myself on the spot again like I did with Mr. Malura earlier. I think you're a political pawn in the middle of all this mess, and I don't think it's fair to you at all for it to even be questioned about your move that you're doing. You're already a city employee. You're moving over to a new position at your request. I don't know why this is so controversial with some people, but I want to say thank you for what you do and what you've done for me and for what you've done for the city.
It's been a pleasure for 7 years.
Just like you and just like Lisa and Courtney and everyone else in this city clerk's office, every single one of you all are the ones that keeps this train on the track
Yes.
for the city.
Here, here.
Without you taking care of the personnel issues and the and the Cheryl and the part-time, the city, the court clerks, all of y'all keep this train on the track, and I am very, very grateful for everything y'all do for us.
Agreed.
And for the employees.
I'll take it one step forward. Not only do you give us answers and everything you need, you guide us and keep us from doing something that would get us in trouble because we just don't know. But you keep us in line when we don't have the information or we don't know and we're fixing to go down the wrong trail. You guys will make sure that we're back on the right track.
And Darla, I think that you're very, very knowledgeable on procedures and policy too. You're very sharp at what you do, along with everyone else, but I know specifically in this realm, you, and thank you.
And I do want to reiterate, it has nothing to do with not wanting her to make that move. Like I said, I wouldn't have even thought of it, but somebody brought it to my attention, and when I looked it up,
Man, somebody's got way more than
I
I do.
am the first to spout policy when something's going wrong. I am not afraid to say, no, that's not how it works. This is how we have to do it. This is not in error. We are not replacing anybody till the effective date of May 1st. That's when the position is open. Courtney's position is leaving a desk, so the clerk's office is gonna be vacant. So we're doing simultaneous moves to be ready for May 1st.
Very
Thank
good.
you for being a subject matter expert.
That's right.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Our mayor-elect would like to say something to that.
Yeah, just real quick. Just point of reference. What was that, last week? We spoke about this? You and I.
Yeah,
You and I had a discussion about it. And I am on board with this 100%. The reason being is that we have so much new, so much to learn, and the information that Darla can bring on board, being a part of the clerk crew, is invaluable. And so between Lori and Courtney, they're gonna have so much to do, so much learning, so much growing. It just, to me, makes sense. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that I do fully endorse the move. I'm okay with the move. Something to keep in mind is that bringing in a new secretary would require a different pay range than she's at now. It would reset it. So there will be that factor in it too that kind of, I don't want to say is a plus, but it is. But I support Darla and her going to help Courtney's crew.
thank you,
Thank you.
Zach. Other discussion? Hearing none, call for vote.
Gantier,
no.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item K, discussion, possible action on the contract agreement with Economic Development Consultant Services between City of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma, and Retail Attractions LLC. Reference contract may be terminated at any time with 60-day notice to terminate prior to the renewal date. Notice is to be made before April 30, 2023 of the City of Pryor Creek's decision for the contract to not automatically renew. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion Gantier,
Second.
second Lamar. I have a letter that Mr. Hayes has written. He asked me to read this, and I agreed. It says, Mayor Lee's, City of Pryor Creek, Retail Attractions LLC has enjoyed the partnership and collaboration with you and your staff since the Pryor City Council contracted with us in September 2019 and the subsequent renewals of our contract by Pryor City Council in 2021 and 2022. Your staff has been a joy to work with. Darla Coates has been a great help over the course of the contracted scope of work. Cheryl Lau, Steve Powell, Jared Crisp have always been eager to assist in any way and to help developers and others who have sought to bring major private sector investments into Pryor Creek area. I have found these folks to be true public servants and pro-growth and pro-business. I have had the sincere pleasure of working in over 500 cities and 39 states. In the 2 decades that our company has been in business, I've traveled thousands of miles and been in more airplanes than I want to remember, and encountered more than 500 mayors and city councils. Our process has worked in every one of those communities that stayed the course. I've done my very best to leave each city better than I found it. I have worked with communities all over, of all shapes and sizes. I've seen one common trait in towns that were able to successfully obtain the ability to grow and change, and that is the ability to build consensus. Unity in vision and purpose is essential. Sadly, the Pryor community finds unity and consensus fairly hard to obtain. I could truly say that I've never worked in a city where people work so hard against change and growth. I've also never had so-called community leaders and city councilors, both current and past, spread falsehood and outright lies about me and others, and where the so-called news media was so as ignorant and complicit. The newspapers, both print and web-based, from day one took every opportunity to slander, distort, and word the news in ways that insulted, stirred up controversy, and put sincere efforts to create sales tax revenue and improve the quality of life in Pryor in a negative light. Not one local journalist printed anything that cast a vision of positive and growing Pryor, but instead stirred up strife and disharmony. That says a whole lot more about their character than it does about mine. Also, it needs to be noted that there was support on the council by some men and women who wanted the very best for the city and encouraged me not to pay attention to the naysayers. We did exactly what we contracted to do, and I told the council the very first night that it normally takes 3 years of work before the brick and mortar begins to emerge. That was the truth then, and now the letters of intent from some national brands are beginning to come to pass, just like I said. Just one of the new retail projects will pay the city exponentially more than they ever paid our company. It is unfortunate that a developer who promised big things for Pryor was unable to secure funding in a timely manner and took public funds to use as earnest money and cast a negative light on our work and the city council's business-friendly favor. But that money will be repaid, and that money will be repaid to the city by the developer. With all that being said, I will use this letter to inform the city council that I'm giving my 60-day notice of the end of our scope of work for the city of Pryor Creek per the contract. I will continue to work the contract scope of work through the month of June. I wish the city of Pryor well and thank the city council for the privilege of serving. This is giving his notice, and I told him I would read that.
Mr. Mayor, when did you get
Publicly.
that letter?
I got the letter, it was dated the 13th. I got it over the weekend.
And why wasn't it put in our packet?
I chose not to put it in our packet. He asked me not to put it in the packet. I thought I would give him that due. So I read it aloud. Here's a copy of it if you'd like to have it.
Okay.
You didn't get it the 13th. I think it was like late yesterday when you said that.
Is there other discussion?
Thank you.
Mayor, what was what were we discussing? I don't know what the vote was, or what the,
There's discussion, possible action on the contract agreement, and this motion, as I understand this motion, is to terminate. He is giving his resignation. He
Yeah.
is terminating.
that's fine, I wanna make sure we go ahead and terminate him too.
Yeah,
It's covered.
Well, this is not a termination, this is just to keep him from automatically renewing. That's all this one is.
Yeah.
it's to keep him from automatically renewing, and he is giving his 60-day notice.
Right.
I do think that we need to follow through with this vote, but I do have a question. We have to make this notice before April 30th. Can we do that via email and that be carbon copied to the council?
according to the contract, he can give the 60-day notice, or we can give him 60 days of notice, and he has given us his notice.
right now.
Well, I understand that, but this is on the agenda and that's not. So we have to take care of this, and then in 2 weeks, we can take care of the other one.
Sure.
It's not an agenda item, so we can't act on it.
Mr. Ritchie, what in your opinion is the proper way to proceed so it is very, very clear that our intent and his intent in writing?
Motion and the second was not to renew, so to terminate this agreement.
Okay.
So we need to vote that, and then a letter needs to be sent to Mr. Hayes indicating that the city voted not to renew his agreement and accepted his resignation.
Now, is that, it's a motion to not to automatically renew, right?
That's what it says.
We had it in our, we voted it in to where it was automatically renewed at the same time every year. And this is a vote to not to automatically renew.
Well, the agenda says that discuss and possible action on the contract agreement with his company. Contract may be terminated at any time within 60-day notice to terminate the renewal date, and we're giving notice to be made for April 30th. Decision for the contract not to automatically renew. So that would be the same thing as terminating the contract.
It is the same.
And a
You
vote,
would have the opportunity to vote him in year by year if you wanted to. It just wouldn't be automatic.
He's saying it terminates it.
Terminating it.
Huh?
You're providing him notice that you're terminating your agreement with him, and that terminates it at the end of that 60-day period.
Joey, don't you think we give him enough money for
Oh,
nothing?
I'm totally in agreement with it, but I just want to
Okay.
make sure that I've got it right, because it says to automatically renew instead of just renew, period. We had the clause in there that was an automatic renewal every year. And that looks like what this is saying, that we terminated the automatic renewal, and then the next time we can come in, and if we have it on the agenda, and terminate his services.
So the agenda item does not specify what action is going to be taken.
Okay?
It doesn't say to extend, and it doesn't say to terminate. It simply says to take action, and then it recites that the contract has the 60-day notice period, and
The-
it automatically renews.
To not automatically
So the
renew.
motion that was made was
Uh-huh.
to terminate the contract, terminate the agreement for his services. That was the second. So if you vote that, well, then we're calling it quits.
Okay.
He's getting his 60-day notice, and
Which he already did, so
which
I
he's
think
already done.
we're covered both ways.
Yeah.
Will your office be the one that writes that letter and sends it to him, or drafts the letter for someone else to sign, or
If I am requested to do so.
I'm requesting you do that?
I'll amend my motion to include that request.
You don't need to vote the motion, and
Yeah.
I might also add a few items, because he is still employed by us through
60 days.
through June 30th. I would encourage our new mayor to consider having an executive session with him and listening to the things that he is working on right now. Listen to what he's doing, and he's required to share that with us. Now, I won't be, also something that's stated on that contract is that I am the point of contact with the city, okay? I would rather not continue to be the point of contact with the city in that regard. So I would want somebody else in the city to be that point of contact going through the next 60 days. I think that would be appropriate. So anyway, consider having an executive session, letting council and letting mayor know what those things are that he's working on, and who those contacts are. And if there's anything there that we need to follow up on, then we would have the opportunity to do that.
Could you schedule that before you leave so that the three of us are there together?
I'm not sure that I'm gonna, that I would be able to be in that executive session if I'm not an elected official.
Before you leave, can you schedule that?
Schedule a meeting with him and with you and with me?
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, we'll try to do that, absolutely. Other
Do
discussion?
we need to amend our motion or include some sort of language in it that we want the designated new representative to represent the city in the contract for the last 2 months instead of the, by name? Is it by name or is it just the mayor?
No, it's by name.
It's by name. Yeah.
You can't unilaterally modify a contract. So, if I'm writing or assisting with writing the letter to him on this action tonight, that can be handled informally.
Perfect, thank you.
Mayor, I don't know if this is the right time to say this, because this is my last city council. I look forward to us trying to mend the bridges that he had mentioned inside of the letter. I appreciate him calling them out. I think all of us have felt the effects of what he's talking about. We have a great city. We've all chosen to live here. We've chosen to raise our kids here. I will continue to raise my kids here and my grandkids. Unfortunately, the people outside of our city don't get to see that because all they see is what they read and what they see on YouTube. And it's just not a great reflection of who we are truly to the heart of Pryor. And so I really hope that we can all learn from this, go forward with our new incoming mayor, and working towards great goals so that we have a great city, and that our city council is respectful and professional to be able to pull in these new businesses, to generate taxes, so that we do get the things that we all want for our families. And Mayor, I appreciate you appointing me, and it's been an honor to serve by you.
Thank you. One of the largest honors that I've ever had is to serve our citizens. And I love our town. I love our city. No matter the brutality of the politics, I love our city and I love our citizens. And my calling and our calling as elected officials is to serve every one of our citizens. It's not to serve ourselves, it's to serve every one of our citizens. And it's been my pleasure to give it my best shot, and I've enjoyed serving with you all.
Thank you.
Have enjoyed serving our citizens. I've made lots of new friends, lots of new acquaintances, and it's been one of the most important things that I've done in my life.
Thank you, Mayor.
Besides that, we've got a motion on the floor. And a
Thank
second.
you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Call for vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 7, committee reports, budget personnel, Mr. Shropshire.
9th of May.
May 9. Item B, ordinance insurance, Mr.
We're
Shropshire.
still looking at a time we can get together, so not at this time.
All right. Street committee,
We're not gonna be here Thursday. And you're not gonna be here next week.
And I don't know of anything on the streets.
Street committee, there will be, I anticipate there will be a presentation from Mr. Powell regarding some drainage projects and some street projects, alley projects, coming up street committee on, that'll be a week from tonight. Yep.
The 25th.
It's my birthday.
One of the items that mayor-elect will need to tend to, will be some appointments to those committees, and I'm sure you've already looked at that. We have some vacancies, and so appointment to those committees. Very good. Item 8, unforeseeable business. I know of none. Item 9, adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Gantier. Call for vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Motion carries. Pryor Public Works Authority, call to order. Item 2, approved minutes, April 4, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Shropshire. Call for vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Malure,
Abstain.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4, adjourn. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion Chitwood, second.
Give it to
Barham.
Barham.
Call for vote.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
They go on that fast, get on the very